What is a private 5G network and why do you need one? So why would someone need a private 5G network? What's wrong with public 5G that we all use? Is it not good enough for them? Is their privacy so important that they now need an entire mobile network just for themselves? Seriously? Private 5G is not just a buzzword, it's a business need. In fact, it's not even officially called private 5G, it's called non-public networks or NPN. So instead of calling it private, they call it non-public. That's like calling your car non-public transport or NPT. Anyway, back to NPN, which most people call private 5G networks. Now here's the thing. Private 5G is not just about privacy, it's about guaranteed performance through better control. Mobile networks are shared resources, so even with the best technology available, whenever network utilization goes up, the performance goes down. That's why mobile operators do capacity planning. And this is where private 5G comes in. With private 5G, a business can either work directly with the mobile operator or work independently. It all depends on the deployment model. In this video, I'll break down exactly what private 5G networks are, how they're deployed, and why there are organizations investing millions in this technology. I'll share some real-life examples also, so let's go to my laptop and I'll tell you all about it. Before we dive into the technology, let's talk about money and results because that's what proves this isn't just hype. Nokia's 2025 Industrial Digitalization Report makes the case clear. It surveyed 115 enterprises across manufacturing, energy, logistics, mining, and transport. 87% of these enterprise customers achieved a return on investment within the first year from projects using private wireless and on-premise edge. In the report, Nokia uses the term private wireless that includes both private 4G and private 5G networks, often combined with on-premise edge. Many of these projects did in fact use private 5G as part of their digitalization initiatives. Costs were another big factor. 81% of enterprises said private wireless reduced CapEx compared to other wireless options, and 86% reported lower ongoing costs, so OpEx. And the benefits went even further. Nearly 60% of enterprise customers said these investments were already generating new revenue streams, and among those tracking sustainability, so initiatives like net zero, etc., most reported carbon emissions reductions, with some cutting more than 20% carbon emissions. A research from SNS Telecom and IT backs this up. They project annual investments in private 5G to grow about 41% a year between 2025 and 2028, passing $5 billion by the end of that period. They also highlight why industrial giants are moving in this direction. Companies like Tesla and Hyundai have already replaced unreliable Wi-Fi access points with private 5G at their factories to avoid connection-related stoppages. Now let's see what this money is actually buying. At Brussels Airport, private 5G was put to the test in a world-first trial. A safety drone was flown beyond visual line of sight, with the pilot sitting in Bruges, more than 100 kilometers away, controlling it in real time. That kind of connection unlocks a whole new set of possibilities. Remote inspection rounds across massive airport surfaces, faster response to aircraft incidents with drones arriving first, wildlife monitoring like birds, etc., for takeoff and landing safety, and drone detection systems tied into the SCAE drone platform for real-time flight approval. All powered by private 5G deployed with City Mesh. And it doesn't stop there. Thames Freeport teamed up with Verizon and Nokia to roll out 6 private 5G networks across 3 major sites, 1,700 acres in total. That includes the port of Tilbury, which handles 16 million tons of cargo each year, DP World London Gateway, with capacity for over 3 million containers, and Ford's Dagenham plant is one of Europe's most ambitious private 5G deployments, supporting AI-driven analytics, autonomous vehicle control, and real-time logistics orchestration. And the momentum keeps building. Hutchison Ports has now completed one of the UK's largest private 5G networks across Felixstowe and Harwich, focusing on fully autonomous vehicles and equipment. This is the result of years of evolution, from private 4G a few years ago to today's end-to-end 5G operations that are enabling things that just weren't possible before. So we have talked about some real-life use cases here. Let's now try to understand what a private 5G network actually is. In 3GPP standards, private 5G networks are officially called non-public networks, or NPNs. They were formally defined in Release 16 because traditional mobile networks just couldn't meet the diverse requirements of industries. There are two main deployment models. They sound similar, but they are very different. First, we have standalone non-public networks, or SNPNs. In this setup, the enterprise owns and operates everything from the radio access all the way to the core, so everything is completely isolated from public networks that we use. Now, just to be clear, when we say standalone here, it means ownership and independence. It's not the same thing as 5G standalone architecture, which is a separate technical concept we'll come to in a moment. The other model is Public Network Integrated NPNs, or PNI-NPNs. Quite a mouthful, right? Here, enterprises get dedicated slices of a mobile operator's infrastructure. You can think of it like private lanes on a motorway, so the capacity is yours alone, but you're still running on the operator's road. And this is where the real power shows up. With 5G standalone architecture, the technical deployment where both the 5G radio and the 5G core work together, you get capabilities that just weren't possible before. Unlike non-standalone 5G, so 5G NSA, which still leans on a 4G core network, the standalone architecture unlocks URLLC, which is ultra-reliable, low-latency communication. So why is this important? Because here we are talking about 1 millisecond latency with 99.99% reliability. And here's why so many enterprises are moving towards private 5G networks. Private 5G delivers at least 5 critical advantages that shared infrastructure just cannot match. The first benefit is complete data sovereignty. Take Thames Freeport as an example. Sensitive cargo manifests, autonomous vehicle routes, and real-time operational data never leave company premises. This isn't just about privacy, it's about competitive protection and regulatory compliance, which are impossible to guarantee on shared infrastructure or public infrastructure. The second advantage is guaranteed performance under all conditions. For example, at Brussels Airport, millisecond precise drone control across 100 kilometers would have been impossible or very difficult on a public network. The variability would have made it unsafe. With private 5G, safety-critical communications always get the bandwidth and ultra-low latency they need. The third benefit is zero congestion impact. At the port of Felixstowe, autonomous operations have to run consistently 24/7 no matter what's happening on surrounding networks. Public networks slow down during peak usage, but private 5G provides dedicated capacity that never competes with consumer traffic. The fourth benefit is complete interference management. Private networks run in controlled radio environments, so enterprises can optimize spectrum, frequency spectrum, for their specific setting. That level of fine-tuning delivers performance you simply cannot get in shared spectrum scenarios. And finally, immediate fault detection and response. On a public network, you're dependent on mobile operator priorities for repair. In a private network, enterprises have direct visibility and control. That makes a huge difference when downtime directly impacts safety, revenue, or regulatory compliance. That's why enterprises with mission-critical operations see private 5G not as an upgrade, but as a necessity. When it comes to deployment, the strategic choices really matter. Omdia's 2025 assessment names Nokia, ZTE, and Ericsson as the leading providers. Each has its own strengths. Nokia supplied the infrastructure for Thames Freeport's 6th network rollout, proving its ability to handle complex industrial environments. Ericsson brings deep partnerships with mobile operators, which makes it strong for PNI-NPN setups in particular. And ZTE is competitive when you need rapid deployment at scale. The real decision, though, is not just about which vendor to use. Of course, that's a decision you have to make. But the real decision that you must make is whether you go for a completely private 5G network or a partially private 5G network. So SNPN or PNI-NPN. SNPN gives you maximum control, but that also means securing spectrum licenses, investing in infrastructure, and having the technical expertise to run it. PNI-NPN, on the other hand, offers faster deployment by leveraging mobile operators' existing infrastructure, but it comes with dependency and less direct control. Different industries are choosing differently. Aerospace, defense, and advanced manufacturing are leaning towards SNPN despite their higher costs, while many others find PNI-NPN perfectly adequate for their needs. So just to be clear, SNPN is the standalone private network, whereas PNI-NPN is where some of it is shared with the mobile operator. Private 5G has already moved beyond pilots. It's now a strategic infrastructure. The deployments at Brussels Airport, Thames Freeport, Port of Felixstowe, and Ford's Dagenham plant show that the value of private 5G is very real today. We are talking about manufacturing floors with autonomous robots, ports with automated cargo handling, airports with remote control safety systems, and logistics hubs with AI-driven orchestration, all relying on the connectivity guarantees that only private networks can provide. For enterprises with mission-critical operations, private 5G is not just another upgrade. It's a strategic decision that will shape their capabilities for the next decade. The organizations leading this transformation are already seeing competitive advantages that compound over time. And as these capabilities become the new normal, early deployment will create lasting strategic benefits. The foundation for industrial transformation is being laid right now. And the billions of dollars already being invested show that the smart money doesn't see private 5G as optional, it sees it as essential.